Recently I did a review on Russian Standard Vodka. It's the first time that I'm aware of that I've had an actual Russian vodka. There are vodkas out there with Russian names or Russian sounding names that are not distilled in Russia and they're not owned by Russian corporations. Now I really wasn't too impressed with it. It burned a little bit going down. It wasn't as smooth as I thought it would be, and there really wasn't anything distinctive about the taste. Now, for the price of this vodka, that should be expected. It's just really not a vodka that I think would be a good standalone vodka for doing shots. However, it got me thinking, this vodka might go good in a cocktail. So I went onto the company website, I'll include a link in the description section below, and I found their cocktail recipe for a Bloody Mary. So I'm going to attempt to make a Bloody Mary with this Russian Standard Vodka, but I'm going to make a few substitutions along the way. So let's get started. So I'll be making a Bloody Mary with the recipe on the Russian Standard website. However, I'll be deleting one ingredient and substituting two ingredients. Now sometimes when you're making a cocktail, you may not have all the ingredients and you can get away with doing that. Or maybe you substitute or delete an ingredient or ingredients based on your individual tastes. There are some people out there that seem to think there's only one right way to make a cocktail, and that's not true. There are so many different renditions and variations on cocktails. From one bar to the next, you can see a difference. There's no one right way to make it. And I get comments like that in my videos where you did it wrong. Well, when I go to your channel, I don't see any cocktail videos. So why don't you fire up your camera and upload your video onto YouTube, and then in the comment section send me a link to your video showing me what I did wrong. Until then, what you say isn't the truth. There's just different ways to do things, and I'll be doing that here in this video. So first thing is I'm going to start off with a small mason jar. It calls for either a highball glass or a mason jar, and then you're going to put in 3 ounces of tomato juice. Now I've got this organic tomato juice, and me and organic foods don't exactly work well together. They usually lack taste, so this may not help very much with this recipe. My substitution would be regular tomato juice, vegetable juice, any brand, or even V8. V8 would probably be the best choice for this. Now I'm going to put in a ½ ounce of lemon juice. You can use fresh squeezed. In this case, I've just got some concentrated lemon juice. And I might be putting in just a little bit more than a ½ ounce there. And then 4 dashes of Worcestershire sauce. 4, maybe a little bit more. Anything to help this organic tomato juice. And then we're going to add 1½ ounces of Russian Standard Vodka. Next will be 1 dash of Tabasco sauce, but I don't have Tabasco sauce, so I'm going to substitute Frank's Red Hot. Any sort of hot sauce would probably be a good substitute. I put 2 drops in there. That ought to be close to a dash. Then it calls for putting all of it into a strainer. I've got one that's half full of ice here. And I'm going to shake it up for about 30 seconds. Alright, we'll simply strain it back into the mason jar. I could have mixed everything right into the strainer, but the mason jar is a little bit bigger, so I thought it would be just easier to pour it in there. And as far as the ingredient I'm deleting, that is a small spoon of Dijon Mustard. If I didn't have Dijon Mustard, but I had horseradish, I would use that. Since I have neither, I'm not going to include it, but I'd simply just put a small spoon in there and stir it. Next, it calls to salt and pepper it. Now it calls for ground black pepper, so I'll simply just take some pepper from the grinder here. And it's just to taste. I like pepper, so I'm going to put a lot in there. And it calls for pink Himalayan salt, but I don't have any of that, and I decided I wanted to use celery salt, which probably isn't salty enough to kind of give this organic tomato juice a boost. So I'm going to put a second salt in there. I'm going to put just a little bit of this Mediterranean sea salt in here, just a little bit. And then I'll be garnishing it with the celery stalk, which I'll use to just stir it a little bit. Let's try it out. So I think putting the Russian Standard Vodka in a cocktail helps, but I don't think the organic tomato juice really does it justice. More or less, I'll say it, I should have had a V8. So maybe at a later point, I'll try making a Bloody Mary with either Dijon mustard or horseradish, some V8 juice instead of organic tomato juice, and how about an American vodka next time? Thanks for watching.